Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to GB Gaming. Today we're going to be playing some Mount & Blade Warband, and we're going to be playing the mod Nova AETAS. This is quite an interesting mod in the respect that it's very, very comprehensive, and we'll be going through it as we go. There'll be probably a fair amount of cutting in this one. It's not something I usually do. I usually do a end-to-end playthrough with not many cuts, but this one's almost certainly going to require it, so without further ado, I think we should start a new game, and we'll explore the mechanics as we go. In a mechanic, I'll make sure that it's in there. Oh, right, this is not going to be short, but we'll go through it. Welcome adventurer to Warband Nova AETAS. In the next steps, you'll create your character and story. Let's first introduce a new Calradia to you. In the year of our Lord 1423, more than 1,000 years after the fall of the Great Empire, a new era has begun for Calradia. Scholars have found new ways to gather knowledge, kings to gain and maintain power, merchants to become richer and influential. The once fearful Khergit Khanate is crumbling, and yet the kingdoms of Calradia are fighting each other, overlooking a greater danger lurking in the east. The Dark Ages have ended. It's time to enlighten all of us. The Renaissance has begun. It's a time of rebirth. Classical sources teach us to optimize architecture, art, science, music, and let us think about philosophical ideas, views, and opinions. Whew. Oh, this is very wordy indeed. In the last decades, the once fearful Nordic kingdom has fallen apart. Bitterness, wrath, and deep religious disunity predominate. Shall one man stand up and unite the Nordic people under one banner, one king, and one faith again? Which man is capable, and will it be Christian or pagan? Furthermore, an ancient empire, almost forgotten and doomed to be in an isolated place. The Mithridian Empire is starting to take its last breath. The great schism between the Emperor and the Pope since 1054, an unfortunate fact, has left a legacy of distrust and disapproval. A 4 centuries old law prevents outsiders from entering the islands, but the Emperor is now in deep need of help from these Western nations. The Muslims are nearly invincible. Shall this once great empire, once called the Calradic Empire, continue to survive? Oh god, there's more! Moreover, Sultan Abdul Hamid? Yes, Abdul Hamid, promulgated a decree which forbids every Christian to enter the holy city of Hirosalima without permission of the local mayor. Well, okay, it's his town. This has led to shock and widespread vexation amongst the Christian world. How will the Pope in Aldurias react to this? During the early years of the century, rich merchants have resurrected the long-forgotten town of Zendar. The Doge leads... I'm just thinking about that dog now. The Doge leads this merchant republic. The harbour of this town is the gateway to the west. Explorers with ships have done the greatest discovery of these times. Have made the greatest discovery of these times, possibly? There is more than Calradia only. There is land in the west. This has proven Zendar to be one of the most prosperous towns in the world. It is time for you to begin your adventure. Good God, that took some time. Please don't be any more. Oh, thank God. Right, we can be a quick character, but we won't do that. That's for mod testing, apparently. We can be male or female. And, of course, we're going to be a male, because, roughly speaking, that's what I am. You were born many years ago. Yes, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Your father was... Okay, we can be a baron fallen into disgrace, a travelling merchant, a skilled fighter, a hunter, a steppe nomad, a dishonest thief, a pious priest. I think we're going to go with... Actually, it's quite a difficult one, this, because the mechanics in Nova AETAS are a little bit different to what you would normally expect. Nova AETAS, you do start as a member of the lower class no matter what, so even if I chose a baron fallen into disgrace, I wouldn't be able to start among the elites. I certainly wouldn't be offered a vassalage, I wouldn't be allowed a flag, so a baron fallen into disgrace, it'd probably give me a little bit of leadership, maybe some tactical skill, but that isn't something that I necessarily need at the start of the game. A travelling merchant is quite an attractive one. The skilled fighter is, of course, attractive from a fighting perspective, as you would imagine. A steppe nomad, I'd probably have some riding and maybe some bow skill. Dishonest thief? Again, I'm going to go with a merchant. Yes, fantastic. You were born the son of a travelling merchant, always moving from place to place in search of a profit. Although your parents were wealthier than most and educated you as well as they could, you found little opportunity to make friends on the road, living mostly for the moments when you could sell something to somebody. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. Your main interests are in the field of... you'd presume that buying and selling goods for profit would be reasonable, but I think I'm going to go for crafting and making objects because you could sell those goods for a profit. There we go. As a boy, growing out of childhood, you apprenticed with a local craftsman to learn the trade. After years of hard work and study under your new master, you became skilled in your trade. However, it's hard to preserve a decent quality of life. Furthermore, during your teenage years, you start exploring your identity. Start exploring a few things. Your personality and ideas turn out to be rather... And we've got some interesting mechanics here, so we'll go through these very quickly. Open-minded, revolutionary, and profligate. Amiable, helpful, and clumsy. Calm, wise, and weak. Skillful, respected, and crude. Patriotic, power-hungry, and aggressive. Authoritarian, patriotic, and aggressive. So they're fairly similar, to be honest with you. Authoritarian, power hunger and authority. Conservative, stoical, and narrow-minded. Reactive, strong-willed, and ungrateful. Hateful, revengeful, and irrational. That's a terrible one. I'd like to go with skillful, respected, and crude. So let's choose that one because I would imagine a craftsman would be of that mind, skillful and respected, but possibly, as has previously been mentioned, not using the poshest words out there. As a boy growing out of childhood, you apprenticed with... Oh yeah, we've done that. So then, as a young adult, life changed as it always does. We could be a squire, a troubadour, a university student, a goods peddler, a smith, a game poacher. I think we're going to be a smith, because that goes with crafting. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had to become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You pursued your career as a smith, crafting items of function and beauty out of simple metal. As the time wore on, you became a master of your trade, and fine work started to fetch fine prices. With food in your belly and logs on your fire, you could take pride in your work and growing reputation. But soon, everything changed. And how did it change? Why did I decide to leave? So, here are the things that we can have. We can have personal hate against the Lord, the loss of your parents, wanderlust, being power-hungry, or lust for shiny coins. I think we're going to go with wanderlust. I think that would be a nice thing. There we go. On you know. Well, there we go. I think we're going to become an adventurer, and we'll do no quitting without saving. Right, let's see what kind of points. We're actually very middle of the road here. We've got excellent trade skill, reasonable leadership, decent engineer, which is nice, a little bit of inventory management, some pathfinding and tactics, okay. Some riding skill, a little bit of weapon master, surprisingly. I didn't think I'd have any of that. Yes, excellent. So, we've got 4 points to spend. Now, in order for us to improve certain elements, I think craftsmanship might be a good idea. Let's character craft more advanced items. Each point in the skill makes it easier to smelt ores. That is going to be useful at some point. Now, charisma, we've actually got most things that we need here, because charisma governs these bottom 3. As you can see, what does craftsmanship do? Agility, oh, that's interesting. So, I'm happy with 2 leadership at present, and trade, again, fine. Don't need any additional points. It would be useful if I went for an extra point in strength and perhaps 2 in agility. So, how can we make life a little bit better for ourselves? So let's improve pathfinding as far as it will go to make sure that we can escape from any dangerous situations. That's always a good idea. And I always find that looting tends to be quite profitable, so we'll take some points in that. Prisoner management, at present, I don't think I need any of. I'm probably going to regret doing that now. Trainer, again, not something necessary. Perhaps a couple of extra points in inventory management. And 2 points in craftsmanship. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to go. And we'll just put everything into one-handed weapons. And what shall we call ourselves? This always challenges me greatly. Let's go with Beoka Briarson. There we go. A little bit of an unusual name. Bioka is a, probably spelt it incorrectly, but he's a priest from Bernard Cornwell's books. I think The Last Kingdom is also a television program based on that. It's a club-footed wonder. Right. This music is insane. Right, adjust your character's face using the buttons and the sliders to rotate the head, click on it and drag the mouse. So I think we're just going to randomise. Oh dear. He looks a little bit serious, doesn't he? Overall, that's good. I like that. Looks a little bit sad. Maybe his hair's a bit shaggy for me. I think that's... see if we can tidy ourselves up a little bit. I always like that hairstyle. It's out of the face. It's out of the way. Yep, that's good. Let's see if we can lighten that hair colour up a little bit. Yep, very reasonable. And perhaps we'll just move the... There we go. He looks a little bit less sad now, doesn't he? Yeah, so I'm happier with that. Yep, that'll do. Right. Oh, good lord. Religion is a big deal in Calradia. Buying goods or items in towns that do not share your religion gives a 50% price penalty. The kingdoms of Swadia, the Vages, and Rhodox follow the words of Christ, Son of God, fully divine and fully human, and Saviour of humanity, as prophesied in the Old Testament. The Sardanes listen to the prophet, who was the last he sent. They believe their faith is the complete and universal version of the primordial faith that was revealed at many times and places before. The Nords have their own pagan gods, like the hammer-wielding, humanity-protecting god Thor, who unrelentingly pursues his foes. The one-eyed or raven-flanked god Odin, who craftily pursues knowledge throughout the worlds and bestowed among humanity. Oh, good lord, this is... okay, there are a lot of religions, great. Let's just see what our options are. We can be Christian, we can be Islamic, we can follow Judaism, we can follow Norse paganism, or... In fact, we can even have atheism. That's interesting. We could Tengrism. Yes, Tengrism. I'm not sure about this at all. I think we will go with Christianity for the time being. That doesn't necessarily reflect my own personal views. However, I think it's fair to say, judging by what we've got here, a lot of the kingdoms do follow Christianity, so that is more likely to benefit me. Oh, however, at a certain point in your life, you decide to follow these traditions and habits of your ancestors. You choose to follow. Okay, we can have Catholicism, Orthodoxy, Lutheranism, Calvinism, or Anglicanism. Oh, good. So, we're still having a hierarchy, but also reform. The leader of the church is also the ruler of the kingdom for Anglicanism. Calvinism, following the doctrine of the sola scriptura, but mainly seeking ways to honour God, not salvation. Oh, that's nice. That's a good one. Lutheranism, believing the Bible is the only source of divinely revealed knowledge. That seems silly. Orthodoxy, sorry to anybody who believes the Bible is the only source of divine knowledge. It just seems a little silly. Orthodoxy, claiming to have an unbroken connection to the faith and doctrine since the 1st century. And, of course, believing that the Pope is the vicar of Christ himself. I actually like Calvinism. Yes, that's what we're going to go with. Then you finally set foot in the world of Calradia, either as an old man full of life and experience or a young adult of great vitality. Choose your age. Well, let's have this reflect mine, between 25 and 35. And here I am, Bjarkar Bryason. He's out in the world. Let's see what I have on me. I've got a hunting crossbow, which is probably not going to benefit me too much, but it does do a goodly amount of damage if I get in trouble. Oh, we've also got a horse, which is quite nice. A tunic with a vest, ragged leather boots. Got some tools that I have the potential to sell, and some water and bits and bobs. So let's zoom out and see what I can do. Now, this is where we are. The things that we really want to pay attention to here are kind of the opportunity to do things like mining and forestry. So let's just take a look at this forest, see who owns it. And ideally... Oh, thank you for downloading and I'm going to scroll down this fairly quickly, and you can put the game at 0.5, or you can pause it periodically, and you can read all this. This is something I've read before, and it just tells you how to play the game. But we'll approach that during the episodes. Right, so what that effectively says is there are several new mechanics. Ooh, during the day's travel, you come across a lone warrior travelling towards Hashala. From him you learn that there will be a tournament held in the town by Sultan. Oh, it's him again, Abdul Hamid. There we go. So let's see who owns this forest. How much money do we have? 350 florins. Okay. Okay, you enter an old-growth forest. Many of the trees you see are worthy to be cut down. This is a very good place for woodcutters. The forest belongs to... Oh dear. The guy who owns Nulkin Castle. If you want to cut down trees, you've got to go there. Okay. I think the first thing we need to do is we need to find a village of size. I do know that I quite like these guys here, the Vages. So perhaps it would be in my interests to travel to Dirim. Hopefully I won't get waylaid on the road, because I will get wrecked. It will happen. Perhaps I should grab some men. Can I have some, well, one is better than none. But of course it does cost me. And, oh, hello. You take a good look at yourself and determine, I need to buy extra to look better. Perhaps a bit of makeup. Now, I don't have any money to do this. Oh, this is such a shame to have this straight away. I've only got 325. So... But I like pure beauty, I suppose, is just as good as it's going to be. Ah, fortunately, I'm good looking. So boast looks that most men would kill to have when courting ladies. I'm extremely fortunate there. It could have gone either way. Let's pop to Emmerin. In fact, do we need more men? Let's pop into Durim and see what we can do. Because we need money. We absolutely need money. So let's... first things first, let's go to the marketplace, and we're going to go to the guild hall, which is a new place that you can go to. Let's have a look at it. This looks nice. Let's talk to this guild member, shall we? If some guild member bothers you with the annoying brag, let me tell you the answer. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Ah, that's a good novelty. Oh, by the way, don't you feel we're too good and large to dwell here in this building? I suggest you donate to the guildmaster to get a better building. Yeah, right. What does this gentleman say? I'm glad to see the guild hall being lively. Yes, 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 yes. Well, let's talk to this gentleman, the guildmaster here. Hello? Oh, he turned round to me. Okay, hello, stranger. You seem to be new to Durim. I'm the guildmaster of the town. Can you tell me about what you do? I'm the guildmaster of Durim. You can say I'm the leader of the guild of Durim. I'm in charge of presiding over the meetings of our guild. Who rules the town? Our town's lord and protector is... Hakal. He owns the castle and sometimes resides here and collects taxes from the town. However, we regulate ourselves in most matters that concern us. As this town's guildmaster, I have the authority to decide on those things. Okay, so he's a fairly powerful man. So what's the purpose of a guild? Every town has several guilds for every handicraft. There are guilds for winemakers, bakers, brewers, merchants, and more. The guild is more or less an association of artisans to control and practice the craft in this town. Membership of the guild is only for the master craftsman, and if you aren't a member, you are forbidden to start any enterprise. Oh, that's interesting to know. So you can start your own business enterprises in the town. However, you'll have difficulty selling your goods if you do try and start a craft elsewhere and come to this town. Okay, that's, again, part of a new mechanic. The guild controls the prices and quality of the goods. If a guild member is unable to continue working, is either sick or dead, then the guild will help with the family financially. So very similar to the Masons, I would say. Let's see if this gentleman has a job for me. Looking for a job. Actually, I was looking for someone to escort a trade convoy. Where does it need to go? Axokopan. I know where that is, having played this before, and that's absolutely not going to happen. Yes. That's not something I'm going to do. Now, here's something that is going to be quite interesting, and we'll probably leave this episode off after we've taken a look at this. I wish to become an apprentice and learn a profession. My dear Bianca Brierson, that's great news that you want to work hard to become a craftsman. Which profession do you want to learn? Well, here are the different things that we could have. So... some of them make money, others are for crafting. So we could be a blacksmith, a carpenter, a tailor, or a priest. All of which is... a priest is crafting, that's fascinating. I'm not sure which of these I want to be yet, at present. Ooh. I'll have a think about that, and perhaps we'll do that in the next episode after I've had a little bit of time to reflect on it. Now, you can also buy land in the town for the productive enterprises, as we've mentioned before. If we leave the guild hall, there is another way of making money. So if we go to manage property, it says this is where you manage property, buy or rent new houses. This is an excellent way to earn prestige and to increase in social class, and that's something that we'll cover now before the end of the episode. Please choose an option. So if we were to rent out a property, we could rent it out for X amount a week, which does generate a little bit of prestige for us, or we can buy a property. This will give us immediate prestige, and will also allow us to rent said property out to make a weekly to make a weekly amount effectively, which is all very, very good. We like the idea of that. Now, how prestige works, if we go to personal reports and character report, you'll see that I have next to no anything really. I've got a little bit of renown, no prestige, no piety, no honor rating, and no influence points. If we go to class information, it says here, you belong to the lower class and are part of the freemen. You do not hold any title. A freeman is a person not tied to the land as a villain or serf. He has very little rights and he has no power. So in order for me to attain the next rank, if you like, I will need 50 prestige. There are various different ways to earn prestige. You can earn prestige, as I say, by buying properties. Following a battle with the enemy, you can release prisoners or you can execute prisoners. That gains a little bit of prestige. You can become an apprentice for a craftsman, and you can create something called a masterpiece after you've worked there for a particular amount of time. That earns you a little prestige. Or you can simply do various different types of work. We've mentioned forests and quarries lately. If you go to the forest and you cut down the trees, you will earn a little bit of prestige as you gain the items. So that's the different ways to do it. One thing we should do before the end of this is look at the arms merchant. Yes, I know it's the trade screen, thank you. What I'm looking for, or hoping diligently for, there is a pickaxe and a woodcutter axe. The woodcutter axe costs me 262. I need to go out and get some... Oh! Here. Okay, so if I was to grab this woodcutter axe, so I'll receive another 49 florins, which brings me to getting towards 400. Let's see if there is a forest locally that I might be able to make use of. Here's one. Let's see who owns it. And hopefully I'm not going to come into contact with any naughty men. Yes, here's a forest. Ooh. Now, hopefully it doesn't look too bad. One thing I do know is there is an ENB associated with this mod. You can remove all association with the ENB and have it look standard, but I've chose to leave it in to see what everybody thinks of it. Right, this forest is likely owned either by Knungundar Castle or by Raverdin. We'll know shortly. Radogir Castle, actually. Radogir. Oh, here we are. I forgot his name. Dorog. So, don't let me forget Dorog. So, hopefully, I'll be able to get here, ask this gentleman if he's willing to allow me to practice my craft. Let's see if we can politely ask this gentleman. Normally I cut the throats of impudent commoners who barge into my presence uninvited, but I'm in a good mood. Well, thank you. I'd like to ask you a question. We're looking for Dorog. He's travelling to Durim and should be close to Rebash. So let's see. Rebash. Anybody see Rebash anywhere? Well, we know he's travelling to Durim. Yes, I can't see Rebash at all. Could this be him? Nope. That's Hakal's army. Let's talk to this gentleman as well, Hakal himself. Hello, I'm at your service. Yes, yes, blah, blah, bow, bow. Yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing, growing fat on the misery of the land. I need to know where Dorog is. He's close to Michin now. Let's see if we can find Michin. In fact, one way that we can do this, if we go to Notes, Locations, find Michin. There it is, and Show on Map. So he's down this way. Let's see if we can intercept him. Hopefully we'll be able to see him as he approaches Durim. We must have lost him. That's a ball ache, isn't it? This guy's giving me the red ass. Look, who are you? Farmers, okay. Hello? You. Where is he now? He's gonna get really pissed off with me, like, what the fuck do you want? Oh god, he's travelling to Karau now. Okay. Karau is... oh, bugger, over there. That's very frustrating. All I want to do is cut some trees down. Rather worryingly, the closer we get to this direction, the more likely we are to find bandits. Specifically sea raiders who are way outside my range. Dorog! Come here. Hello. I'm at your service, noble lord. Kowtow, kowtow, kowtow. Well, I've not heard of you, but you have the look of a man who will make something of himself one day. Oh, he's nice, isn't he? I'd like to ask you something. Oh, no, never mind. I want to acquire a charter for the use of your forest for personal purposes. He'd like to charge me 350 florins. I think that's extremely reasonable, because I don't have a choice. Now, I have the option to go and cut wood in his forest. So let's go and do that, and then we'll end the episode after we've had a look at that mechanic. Here we go. So you enter an old-growth forest. You have the right to do so. Now, the thing that we'll need to do here is we'll need to put the woodcutter's axe in our inventory. Get it out, as they say. And we need to find appropriate trees. Now, the appropriate trees are thick trees, if you will. So something, pretty much all of these ones here, actually. So we'll go over to it, give it a whack, like so. Now you can do this with up to 3 trees, and they will appear in there as you've just seen. So let's get this one as well. And you'll see that another one has now appeared here. Pretty cool. Let's get a third one because we may as well do all 3 at once. Excellent. So we've got all 3 at once now. What we'll then need to do is we'll need to go here, and we hold F down in my case, but it depends on whether you've rebound your controls. I haven't. To saw the log, and you just hold it down until the log is completed sawing, and you should see that we get the actual timber itself, and we should get a little prestige. There we go. So we got 3 prestige points, and we got some timber. Now the timber we'll be able to sell or utilize. Let's saw this log also. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to deforest this entire area, and then I will come back to you when I get back towards the city. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with you. We finished cutting everything down in the forest. In the forest? Yes. In the forest, and we're going to make our way towards Ravendin initially. Now, you should see this come up. While we were in the forest, we managed to cut down enough trees that I think we got 60 prestige, but I will check that shortly. It says, good morrow. You advanced in class. Congratulations. You may call yourself one of the peasants now. Yay. So let's take a look at it. Personal reports, character report, and we do have 60 prestige, I am right. So let's see what we get to next. So we need 100 for the next class. You belong to the lower class and are part of the peasants. You don't hold any title, yep. Peasants are mostly farmers, a very traditional class living in the countryside. They hold land which is de jure owned by the nobility. In exchange they work and offer services to their lord. So that's the class I currently belong to. Lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Raverdin and hopefully we can sell some of the timber that we've got, which I expect is... yeah, it's a fairly extensive amount. Alright, so let's go to the marketplace and go to the goods merchant. Well, the sale price is pretty abysmal. Do we know of anywhere that there is a shortage in wood? Let's take a look. Did lose 1 floor in there. Okay, I try and figure out what the best goods to trade in. So raw silk, wine, grapes, hides. So nothing remarkable. Raw silk and selling it at Jakele would bring a lot of profit. But sadly at present I don't think we're in a position to do so. This timber I'm not going to use, so I'm actually going to sell it regardless. Because it will get us a little bit. Evidently not much, 258 florins. But that's better than a kick up the jacksie, isn't it? Which is fine. God, look at these things. Right, let's head back and pop to the tavern. See if there's anybody of interest here. A mercenary lancer, wandering a sheik. Got the tavern keeper themselves, of course. And nothing else, sadly. So we have made a little bit of money. And to all intents and purposes, that's what we're going to continue doing for the remainder of this class, I suppose. That's going to be the end of the episode here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue using my craftsmanship skill, if you will. Well, not craftsmanship. I'm going to continue cutting forests down, making a little bit of money here and there. Perhaps do a little bit of buying and selling, and hopefully I'm going to have more buying power when we come back for episode 2. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's quite unusual because I haven't been stabbing anybody, but I quite like the management options in this mod, so do tell me if you want me to do anything more. Tell me if you've played Nova AETAS before and give me any tips that you could disseminate to me, because I do need tips. I'm fairly new to it and it is very, very difficult to get to being one of the nobility. For now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure playing. This is the Gull out.